Hello. Really awesome. So in this live stream video training, I'm going to share with you the mindset shifts that you need as a highly paid yoga coach in the industry and how to identify limiting beliefs. Hi, my name is Sarah Leonardo, and AKA Yoga Coach Sarah, and we are joined by Krysta, who's also an amazing marketing expert in the coaching space. Welcome in, and I've been a coach for over a couple years now, and I've seen a lot of people achieve amazing success, both financially, emotionally, and I really want to share that with you and what I've learned about the mindsets of successful coaches. And coaching can be a very lucrative career if you have the right mindsets in place, especially when starting out. So stay tuned as we kind of talk about it with today's training. So I have Krysta that's joined us. Welcome, Krysta. You want to keep this pretty casual?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Let's just chat and have a good time.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start off like my experience with some of the mindset shifts that I needed to adopt is that some of the limiting beliefs that I thought going in is that I needed to be maybe I had to take this certificate first. Maybe I needed to have this mindfulness training before I start to teach it. Whereas as I gotten more mentorship and training and reading and over time with practice, is that the best mindset is to start now, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not, at the right, it doesn't feel like you're quite ready. The idea is to just get started and even just start imperfectly, like start taking imperfect actions. And, that's kind of like, that's kind of how I've seen some of the yoga teachers and coaches that are wanting to expand online is that I need to do this one more thing before I get started. I need to get my social media up. I need to get more followers. And what people don't know is that you can start really by nothing and start from there. Like just the desire to learn, just the desire to build your yoga business from scratch. But so, yeah, I mean, it kind of shows up a little bit like imposter syndrome. Like I gotta be like this, I gotta look good, or I gotta have this before I get started. And so in terms of like building businesses, Krysta, I want to pick your brain about how you've seen some coaches and even like some influencers that you've worked with. And I don't know if some of you have joined us. Krysta works with amazing coaches and influencers in the space. And she can kind of talk about it firsthand. Krysta, you want to kind of tell us your experience, even your own kind of experience in limiting beliefs and starting businesses?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. So I am right there with you where a big one is people feeling not ready, right? So that's one that I just want to echo because we all feel too busy. We all feel like if I just do this one more thing or if I get a little bit better at this, then we'll be so much more ready. But the thing is the time is going to pass anyway. So you may as well just start now because it's about you being fulfilled and putting it off until you get to another step in your mind to feel ready. At the end of the day, you're just going to keep cycling through that. So that's a big one I see. And then the imposter syndrome of, who am I to be doing this? So in this example, maybe people are used to teaching classes and they're used to taking that hourly rate or however you're making money now. And you're like, who am I to start charging X amount of dollars for a program? And that's the thing where if you learn the strategy and how to do it and all the steps behind it, you already are qualified and you are able to charge that. And there are people out there that are going to pay for that. And that's kind of the mindset you have to flip of your own is that there's already people doing this, right? In some way, shape, or form. So why not you too? Why can't you step into that space? Of course you can, right? So I think that that's another one where people kind of get hung up is like, who am I to step into this? I'm new. You're not going to not be new until you start. So the sooner you start, the sooner you're not new. And then you can just kick that one to the side too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say those are two of the biggest that I see out there with the mindset side. And a lot play into them, but they're the two biggest.
Amazing. Right. And then would you be able to kind of share like a relatable experience about starting? Like, maybe some people can relate. It's like, well, like I'm different because I need to get this done. Or, like anything come up for you that you can think of right now. I don't want to put you on a spot, but if anything, and I have something to share too, if you're like, kind of, what is it,
No, yeah, no, I can share. So for me personally, and my side of it is, I was entering into the marketing world, but two for me was I was too young when I first started my business. So I started it at 24 years old, and I automatically thought no one's going to take me seriously. I can't even go rent a car right now if I want one because I'm not 25. Who's going to pay me for marketing advice, right? And then another one I had was at the time I was going through a lot of health struggles, which is why I wanted to start my business in general, to have the ability to be at home when I don't feel well and things like that. But because of that, I had thought, oh, it's going to limit me. I'm going to let people down. What if my schedule doesn't fit, how my health is reacting right now? So I kind of had to flip that and make it, I'm doing this because I want more time for my health. I'm doing this because I want to start young and build something so that someday when I have a family, I can take more time for me and us. So now I say that now, like I could flip them 10 years later, like, oh, it was so easy. But in the moment, it's not. But it's really, for me, my advice is always one foot in front of the other. How are you moving forward? Are you booking the calls, showing up to the trainings? Are you getting help from a mentor? Are you starting the steps of setup? Are you YouTubing how to do things? Are you putting in the work? Because you're going to just cycle through those mindset things if you don't keep taking one step at a time.
Exactly. And what I like to talk about that when I start working with clients is there's a lot of the old beliefs. The old beliefs are like your limiting beliefs. And when you do start, when people do start taking in the action, people do the work, then you start developing new mindsets and new beliefs about themselves. Maybe identifying like, oh, I really am this person that could show up for people in this way. And it's like, you're really transitioning to be that person slowly. And then, but a lot of the limiting beliefs will still come back. It's like as imposter syndrome, like maybe like, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I need to do this. And it becomes like an overthinking. We tend to go into overthink mode, and that delays us from making really like heading forward to the right direction, opening up the mindsets that will, start getting us to thinking, well, let me go, instead of like hiding here, let me go and maybe partner up with someone that has already figured out how to do this, or message someone in this group, like, hey, I see that like you've already started. I see like your Facebook profile is up. I see that you're already starting to help a specific niche of women with a yoga, in the yoga space. And that's it. That's all I'm saying. Like making that first step to make that connection, someone that has already started, like, hey, like, I really have a question, and, and just don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to step up, because that's kind of where you become and develop that new sense of like, okay, I think I'm ready, like going, instead of being stuck in this one place. And what was
Yeah.
it for you, Krysta? I know you got to go in a bit, but I love talking to you. What was it for you that maybe like, where you're like, oh, like I took the steps and then I can't believe I'm here. Like, when was that moment for you?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, it's been such a process. And I guess maybe that too is a good point to bring up. So, well, first to answer your question, when was that moment? I guess for me, when it was enough that I finally realized like I even needed help. You know, my husband and I are a partner in this business now. And I had my head down in the weeds so much, just again, like I said, like one step forward every day, just walking along the path, that it didn't even hit me until later. And I was like, oh, I kind of did it. Like I even
Yeah.
need my husband to help me. Like we can do this together now. Like, and it was little milestones that I had just like noticed along the way. And that's not to say, like, sometimes I feel like people too can get discouraged when they're like, okay, I started 6 months ago, so I'm not necessarily new, but I still feel limited. I'm still scared. I still have those beliefs coming into my head. And like Sarah said, they're going to come back. And it doesn't mean just because you've been in it, you're not going to get new limiting beliefs. Like you may have heard the quote, new levels, new devils. And it's like once you reach a certain point, then it's like, well, I'll never scale to be as big as her, or I'll never be at the level she is. I'll never have the time freedom she has. And it's just little things that you catch yourself thinking about that you never thought about before. And I don't say that as like, you know, to say like, oh, to expect that down the road, like it's going to be bad. But I say that to not be discouraged when you have a new problem like that. It's a good thing. If you're worried that you want to reach a higher income goal, or you want to be more time freedom, or you want more clients, and how will you ever handle them? Don't forget you wanted to be there when you started 6 months ago. So, you know, it's just to say that there's always going to be a process along the way. And I think sometimes setting yourself up with that mindset of this is a journey that's going to have hills and valleys, and you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Amazing share, Krysta. And if you're joining us now, if you're watching this live, and go ahead and find the chat too. You can kind of type your questions there. If any of this resonate, type resonate, or if you think that this is a value, type value in the chat. We'd love to know if we're giving you the right type of content to get you moving and to get you really thinking that, you know, this could really happen for you. So with all this, given all this, what are some of, you know, that you've done to help yourself move forward? And I could also kind of recommend, you know, in the yoga and coaching space, how others have done that for them as well. But I want to, since we're like, you know, I'm loving your story, Krysta, how would you, what would be like some of the action plans that you had to do for yourself?
Yep, exactly. So it kind of goes back to where if you know, are at all in like the mindset world, they say to put yourself around people that you want to be like. You're like, oh, that's easier said than done. That doesn't mean you need to go out and find the, you know, the Brendan Burchards and the big, you know, the big motivational people, but how can you create your own networking group that meets on Fridays for 15 minutes to brainstorm? And you tune into these trainings every Friday and not miss one to make sure you're growing your mind every week. Get a mentor. I had a mentor all through my coaching. Now, does that mean, you know, I had every mentor I ever desired that are, you know, tens of thousands of dollars? No, you start where you can start. You take advantage of like the free group that Sarah has and other groups out there, and you learn and you gather information that way. That kept me going because when I felt stuck, there was something I could YouTube. There was something I could find in the group. There was something I could message my mentor. I could book a free call with almost every coach out there has some type of free call where they'll give you advice and free tips. So just those resources, grab at them and let them help you keep moving. Don't go into like a self, you know, don't close yourself off just because you feel stuck. Find a way to get past that. And don't forget that you can reach all around you and find ways to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Is that one of the ways that I describe that type of mindset is like you adopting a mindset that you can figure it out, that you don't have to create anything from scratch. Maybe someone has already done it. Someone really close to you, just like one message away, has an answer to your question. Taking your next step. And
yeah, and I would say like those mentors, like it's not even just business mentors, right? You should have a business mentor, hands down. If it's not Sarah, who is it, right? Who is your mentor? Who is helping you with the questions? Now, you know, And then who is your mentor outside of life? Like who helps you when you're like feeling the imposter syndrome and you're like, but my life is too crazy, right? So like this is uploaded to YouTube, right, Sarah, the replay for people? Is that right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So even like if you're watching this replay, like comment someone that has helped you move forward in your life. And it doesn't have to be business. It can be spiritual. It can be regular life. It can be all those different things. So, you know, think about who in your life has been impactful to you and who can you have conversations with that keep moving you forward.
Amazing. Hi, Cathy. How's it going? Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure
Okay,
to have you.
all right. Is
Good.
it true that there's just us three?
Yeah, right now it's just a three, which is, you get two for the price of one today.
All right. So since I have all this individual attention,
Yes, please.
I will tell you, I live in Prescott, and I retired from teaching school a few years ago, and I've always taught yoga part-time and never got a big following. I'm very academic because I'm a teacher, and I have such organization. Like every month I have a theme. This, like April, was spring cleaning and we detox with twists, but I don't get a big population. And I recently stopped, just last week, stopped a studio because it wasn't worth the rent. And I'm going to show you my home yoga studio.
Awesome.
I just use for friends, but you are inspiring me
Yes.
to see if I can do this and not pay rent. Okay, so I want to show you. I don't know if you could see what you see,
I love it.
but it is a nice room.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect for teaching online or in your home. It's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm just lucky to have like a sunroom like this.
Absolutely.
That's so exciting.
And where do you guys live?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Okay,
And I'm in Central PA.
you're in Central PA?
Yep.
I moved from Cleveland from the least days of sunshine to the most. I'll
That's
show
what
you.
we gotta
I'll
do.
show you. I'll show you my backyard. This is my yoga studio goes. I mean,
Oh, lovely.
I have potential.
Yes,
Lovely.
exactly.
So
That's
I
potential.
guess I'm trying to figure out how to increase attendance, and I'm trying to. If I have to pinpoint a challenge, maybe it's not so fun because I'm like, my focus is detailed alignment. And so I guess, and I'm so academic, I'm thinking I need to be more authentic and just fun, because people will come to yoga if it's fun,
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's my drill.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
My
sharing, Cathy,
problem.
your home and your studio and the potential of the backyard. And I'm hearing that you had like reduced the rental studio space and possibly moving it into your home and maybe creating an online offering. And I could see a lot of potential there. And I'm hearing too from what you're saying that you're looking at, you had focused on detailed alignment. Is that what you said? Can you expand more on that?
Yeah, and people who appreciate that appreciate it, but there aren't enough people. I'll tell you, I suppose another limitation probably is marketing and technology,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we can definitely cover all of that. And that's something that, not just, you know, you can start somewhere. Like people, people can figure out where you are, start with where you are with, your skill level, and you just kind of build on that, including the marketing piece, the technical pieces. It's all skills, which means like you just build on it. And one thing that I can kind of hear and take out is I'm hearing you maybe creating a niche for yourself. Kind of, what are you, when you hear, I hear that you like teaching detailed alignment. What, in terms of the people that like that, can you see kind of like a grouping of the types of people that love to do that work? And when you do the detailed alignment, what do you fix? What is if that's the solution, what is the problem that you're solving? And that's going to take you, help you focus in on the marketing, the niche, your ideal clients that will begin to look for that type of solution. Because I hear detailed alignment is a solution. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I called my yoga for longevity. Okay. And I do like teaching, older women is my preference.
Sounds like your niche. Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a good space. Yeah, that's a good niche.
Yeah, and
and I hang around with very fit, 70-year-olds, like we're riding today, and we do yoga and we hike and kayak. So
that's awesome.
And I'm also in a town that's growing. So I should be able to, I'm very grateful to you too, because I'm being inspired and more confident, in spite of my low attendance.
Hey, no, and think too, like Sarah was saying, maybe even embrace some of the online side, right? So and this could help grow your in-person side. So kind of think about, like she said, the target market that you kind of know you want, that age range, that type of person, what they do for fun, where are they hanging out, that you can go into that circle. Is it, I don't know, I'm making up stuff, I don't, off the top of my head, women's groups of some kind, church Bible studies, some like local nonprofits? Are there places where you can go and hang out, right? That these people are also involved with, community involvement, where you just get to talk to people and pass off a business card, right? And then in the online space, what groups can you go and teach in? Like, are there senior living groups, or are there groups for homesteaders, people that, there's canning groups out there, right? People that like to can food. I'm trying to think of people that would be in that age range that you're talking about, but and can you go in there and contact the group administrator on Facebook and say, can I do an online yoga class on Zoom? And then you get those people into your world. They start following you, they become friends with you. And then you can start doing online classes for a fee as well, where you record yourself there in your room.
That's a good goal. Oh, that's a good goal. I'd be happy just to get people in my house. But yeah, I never thought about. So you go to, let's say, a group of women who weave or something like that, and offer them like a free Zoom class. And okay.
Yeah, and then what Sarah teaches in her program is how to take your yoga business all online, that you never even have to worry about booking, filling the classes. And then all you're doing on Fridays and Saturdays or Monday mornings is setting up your computer in your beautiful yoga room with your beautiful sunlight coming in, hitting that record button and letting people hop on just like this and pay to do yoga with you in the comfort of their home. Maybe they're caring for a loved one and they can't leave their home. Maybe, they're dealing with health issues and they would still love the alignment, but virtually, and you could talk them through it. So there's so many options. And, Sarah could go on more, I'm sure, but there's like a whole world out there too.
And we have created trainings to kind of free trainings in this group where you can even start building your email list, where you're announcing, this is when my classes are going, you know, register here. And you can definitely do the whole online experience, or half and half. Some people do it, you know, in person and online, but you have the flexibility of doing both. So I can tag you to that email marketing training, and you can maybe start building out your list of people. Do you have email addresses of people? Even if you meet people out there, you know, if they're interested, just ask like, oh, you know, I can put you on my list, on my email list, and I can send out, you know, when I have specials, when I have the free offerings that will lead into more of a payment, you know, where you actually make sales.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Sarah. And even if you're emailing out your theme every month, right? You just have the email list that you're building, and it's just, hey, here's our theme this month, whether you can attend virtually or in person. Here's the Zoom link to join us online. And if not, we'll see you at 10 o'clock here in my home, you know, or at the studio. So that email list is key, because people forget, right? They forget. They need that reminder in their inbox. That's why you got one today for this 5 minutes before, right? People get busy and they go, oh yeah, that thing I wanted to do. So that's so important. And there's free systems out there if you're just getting started. And I know Sarah covers a bunch in that training she mentions. So
exactly. And then when you have those feeling of discouragement, you know, to not, you know, get that, keep you down. It could just be the systems that you can build, you know, like the email list that can help you have the bigger attendance rate. And, you know, it's just like building. It's not because what you're offering is not important, or like, it's just maybe not people know about it. You know, you have this great thing, just not, like people don't know you exist. That's really the reason why.
Well, thank you. You are
welcome.
I was feeling bad about leaving my studio. And
no, don't at all. Online world is way better. No, I won't say better, but I won't say better, but you know what I mean. It's a whole new world. And I'll give you one quick example too before I have to run. I work with and I'm on Sarah's team as a marketing person. I'm not sure if you caught that at the beginning. I also work with a business that it's an autoimmune membership that is basically nutrition, but the person couples yoga with it because it's restorative. It helps with inflammation in your body. And she couples it with it. So she has yoga teachers that teach every month online for a fee in this community. So like, you know, obviously that's one example, but there are things out there like that you can get involved in and volunteer yourself. Do your first class free for them. Get them on your email list. Tell them to add you as a friend on Facebook, you know, and just kind of think outside the box as to where you could start offering your services that aren't just, hey, join me for yoga, but you go into certain groups and find people that would fit.
Amazing share, Krysta. Thank you. And actually builds into, you know, more opportunities here within the free group is that, you know, you can create your own, if like autoimmune is your niche, you can kind of create your own entire program, and you're the one who can sell that membership. And so we have that training here, and just kind of help you think a bit bigger too. It's like you can have the big, instead of like these big small chunk classes, you can have a membership that you can charge to your growing community as you build, you know, your followership and your email list.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, I appreciate this so much. You can't imagine how much I sign up for and never do. This town is kind of like a playground, and we do a lot of yoga, a lot of hiking, and a lot of biking. I can walk into the National Forest from my house, but it is growing, and I'm really missing the opportunity. I probably don't go out as much as you say, but I do probably know a lot of people, and I do have to get good about that email list. And I do offer free things, but I don't offer them in the way to a next step. I just taught family yoga and Earth Day. But I never, got an email list or anything like that.
Yeah, and something like that, you could have a box where someone could win a free session with you, put your email in the box, and they literally write it on a piece of paper. That's how I started my email list, was hand to hand. And then eventually it grew to where I was growing it online. But if you're doing those local events, like Sarah said, capture that audience and remind them, hey, we have another class next month. Is there a community email list? I live in a really small town. Sounds like your town is semi-small too. We have a community email list like that you can send out blasts to, and you can pay them $20 to send a blast out about something you have coming up. So things like that to think about. But I do have to run. So
thank you so much, Krysta.
Thank you.
I was grateful to be a guest here.
Amazing.
Thank you, Sarah, for having me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
yeah,
hopping in.
It was nice
Thank you
meeting
so
you, Cathy.
much.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Cathy. Appreciate you joining me today. Yeah, so if you can take a little bit of, a bit of that, and I'll go ahead and tag you to some of the things I mentioned here. I do have some of the free things you can start implementing right away. So I'm happy to do that too.
Okay, so Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
how will I get, how will I access you?
Yeah. So do you have access to the chat right now? Can you
Yeah.
check the chat box?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What you do is type your email there, and I can send you all the things.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome. You're welcome.
0 Yahoo. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I appreciate you hopping in.
I hope this is my first step to really, I'm also part of Breathe, Play, Love Yoga. It's a collective. A few yoga teachers got together, during COVID, and our studio closed. And so, yeah, I appreciate it. Hopefully we will all grow.
Amazing. And then there, I got it. I got your email there. Perfect. So I grabbed it. So yeah, I'll send it to your email, and yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and close the show.
Okay.
And thank you so much for joining. And those are some of the tips that we've offered today in today's show. And you're welcome to hop on in future shows to ask questions and contribute to the topics. We bring different topics every week. And thank you so much for joining.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Cathy.
Have
Take
a good
care.
day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cathy, for joining us. And Krysta, I'm going to go ahead and close the show. And usually I'll offer just some additional tips so that you can kind of apply some of these things in your coaching and yoga business. One of them being acknowledge that you are worthy of a high-paying yoga career, okay? And so that means believing that you can help people achieve their health goals, their, some of the problems that you can solve for them with your yoga, with your healing, with your program, with your classes. And, and just really commit to learning, commit to being in that learner mindset that, you are going to be starting from beginner, and from any beginner, you just keep building and staying consistent, and to hook up with people that are doing the thing that you're already wanting to be, right? And be patient, take your time, and develop, those relationships, those business relationships with others. And just remember that, you can charge, what you're worth. And what I mean is that you can earn a really good living creating a yoga program. We've actually created a free training where you develop a long-term yoga program where, just kind of like what Krysta mentioned, like having a yoga component to an overall 8 to 12 week type of yoga program. And if anyone does yoga straight for 8 to 12 weeks, you are going to see some health transformations, mental health, you name it, physical. So when you're able to coach and provide those types of yoga teachings to your clients, then you absolutely can charge, you know, 2,000 and up for a program, 3,000, you know. And so when you sign on a client, you just need to sign on 1 or 2 or 3, and you easily can make, you know, that earning per month, right? Instead of trying to look for 50 people so that you can charge them $100, you know, each time. So this is one way that you can really start building the ideal business and life that you want online. And it's really possible. Even just starting today with what Cathy mentioned is creating your email list is something that most, you know, teachers don't take advantage of. And there's a free email list training, email marketing training that I have within the group. And if you want that, you know, message us, type email marketing training, and we will send that over to you. Just let us know and we will happy to send that over. And, you know, and believe, right? Believe in your own ability that when you step up and gain the courage and the momentum, the consistency, if you're consistently showing up little by little, that you can make a difference in other people's lives. You know, it's not about, I talk about like the, you know, the story about the turtle and the hare, you know, right now society wants fast results, fast, like you got to be fast at learning. That's not really the case, because most of the time, if you go too fast, you burn out, you get tired. So learn to rest, but don't quit. Learn to rest, but don't quit. And so instead of the hare, I want you to think about it as slow and steady wins the race. You can be the turtle, and that's completely okay. And that's what I tell myself all the time, is that when the imposter syndrome comes up, when the limiting beliefs show up, that if you show up tomorrow, that's what matters, is that you show up for your clients, you show up for your community, you show up for yoga, for yourself, and be consistent. And being that turtle, be okay with being the turtle, because turtles win the race, okay? And of course, stay positive and keep focused on your goals. Thank you so much for joining here today. What I love to do for each training is that I like to just send out good wishes. So it's Taurus season at the time of this recording. I historically do like fun tarot readings, just to kind of send good vibes and really like timely messaging for people. And this applies even if like you're watching this on a replay. I just love doing these just to kind of give you that, you know, sometimes this is kind of the message that you need to hear. And I've just got into like, you know, tarot readings, and this has become a new and kind of coping and uplifting tool for me. So the message for today is, justice. And justice is really how it's coming across for me. And then you can look up the meaning of the justice, is that to me, how it's showing up for me to read to you is that, are you giving your talents justice? Are you giving your experience justice? And if this is something that you're wanting to do for your life, for your business, then give it justice. Okay, here you can see the purple curtain, and he's holding a knife in one hand, which represents usually the mental agility, mental thoughts, mental clarity. And then he's holding the scale there to offer balance. Is that, are you providing balance for yourself? And are you giving your passions and dreams justice? If it's inside of you, why not execute and provide the stage it needs? So that is my message. Thank you for closing with me. Thank you for joining me We do this weekly, and we do this for you to give inspiration and support for coaches and yoga teachers that provide healing as it has done for us in this group. So thank you for joining, and I will see you next time.